Did you know that the world's richest 1% own nearly two-thirds of all new wealth? This is almost twice as much money as the bottom 99% of the world's population. This shocking disparity between the rich and the poor is raising the question of what truly separates them. This video will examine the essential traits and habits distinguishing the wealthy from the poor. Number 1. Education Edge. John and David are two young boys. They grew up in the same neighborhood, attended the same school, and had similar upbringings. They were both intelligent and capable, but David was always more ambitious. John preferred to hang out with his friends and watch TV in his spare time, while David spent most of his free time reading books and learning new skills. After a few years, John and David are all grown up. David went on to graduate with honors from a prestigious university. He started his own business. He wisely invested his money and now lives in a cozy home, drives a flashy car, and travels the world on exotic vacations. Meanwhile, John struggled to find work after high school and eventually dropped out of college. He went from job to job, never really finding his calling and never making enough money to get ahead. He still lives in the same small apartment and drives the same beat-up car he drove in college. So, what was the real difference between John and David? Education. David knew that getting an education was essential to reaching his goals. He believed in investing in himself and in his future. He was willing to invest the time, effort, and money necessary to obtain the best education, which ultimately paid off. David's education gave him the competitive advantage he required to succeed. On the other hand, John believed he could get by with just a high school diploma and basic job skills. John's lack of education limited his opportunities and prevented him from achieving his goals. The takeaway here is straightforward. Education is the key to success, and it's never too late to begin. Number 2. Value versus time. John spends his days working at a retail store where he's paid by the hour. He has no say over how much he earns because he can only earn what the employer will pay him. On the other hand, David makes things for others to buy. He started a small business from home, making and selling handmade furniture online. He also maintains a blog where he shares his woodworking tips and tutorials. David's earnings aren't limited by the number of hours he works. He can sell his products and make revenue from posts anytime, day or night. The wealthy understand that selling value rather than time is the key to accumulating wealth. They create assets that can generate income long after they are completed. If you still need to be convinced, let's look at Jeff Bezos' Amazon, which he founded in 1994. The company was founded on Bezos' vision and expertise, but it continues to make money without him being physically present. On the flip side, people with low incomes frequently sell their time for money and have no leverage. They exchange their time for money and have no say over how much they earn. This limits their earnings potential and makes becoming wealthy difficult for them. Number 3. Responsibility versus blame. John blamed the economy and his lack of connections for his low earnings. He felt helpless and abandoned his dreams. David, on the other hand, accepted responsibility for his flaws. He saw failure as a chance to learn and grow. He sought advice and changed his approach, and his business eventually became successful. Those who blame others for their shortcomings tend to become trapped in a downward spiral of disappointment and frustration. Successful people, on the other hand, recognize that failure is a natural part of the journey and use it as a motivator to push themselves even further. They don't let setbacks depress them. Instead, they see them as chances to learn and grow. Number 4. Work autonomy. David, as an entrepreneur, works for himself and has complete control over his time and efforts. He appreciates the freedom and creativity that come with being his own boss, even if it means taking risks and being accountable for everything that happens in his business. He works hard to generate income by adding value to his handmade furniture and blog. On the other hand, John earns a consistent wage for a retail store. While he has job security, he has less control over his time and responsibilities at work. He is bound by his employer's rules and regulations and cannot be as creative or take as many risks as David. John has to work hard to make a living, but he does not have David's wealth creation potential. See the difference? Entrepreneurship versus employment. It is exactly what defines a rich person and a poor person. Number 5. Productive versus toxic environments. David surrounds himself with successful entrepreneurs, encouraging him to take risks, think creatively, and work hard to achieve his objectives. They also offer him advice and guidance based on their own experiences, allowing him to make better decisions for his handmade furniture business. On the other hand, John hangs out with friends who are always complaining about their jobs and financial struggles, which makes him feel down and discouraged. Because of his negativity and lack of motivation, he cannot take the necessary steps to improve his financial situation and pursue his dreams. Indeed, we can improve our chances of financial success and create a more positive and empowering mindset by being mindful of the people and environments we surround ourselves with. That truly makes the difference. Number 6. Passive versus impulsive decisions. Making sound decisions is a crucial characteristic distinguishing the wealthy from the poor. Successful people understand that even minor decisions can significantly impact their lives, so before making any decision, they carefully consider the potential outcomes of each option and weigh the benefits and risks. Take David as an example. He always considers the long-term value and impact on his finances before purchasing. On the other hand, John recklessly makes impulse purchases without thinking about the consequences. His "you only live once" attitude may provide him immediate pleasure. Still, it can also lead to long-term financial insecurity. To break free from a wrong mindset, you must be proactive and make deliberate decisions that align with your long-term goals. Remember that instant gratification can be a trap, and that being proactive is the key to financial success. Number 7. Growth versus fixed mindset. Do you know what the biggest difference between John and David was? It's their mindsets. David was always a go-getter. He was never satisfied with mediocrity and always aimed for perfection in everything he did. David believed that his abilities and intelligence were not limited to where they were, but could be developed and improved through study, work, and goal setting. He saw obstacles as stepping stones to tremendous success. He was always eager to learn more, take risks, and explore new opportunities. On the other hand, John thought his current abilities and intelligence were fixed, so he didn't try to improve or grow. He considered challenges a waste of time and preferred the security of a steady paycheck rather than taking risks and pursuing his passions. David's growth mindset aided him in taking his company to the next level. He expanded his product line, invested in new equipment and materials, and developed a loyal customer base. He also used his customer feedback to improve his products and services. His business grew at an exponential rate. John, on the other hand, was stuck in a rut. He never pursued his interests or took risks and was content with his job, barely covering his expenses. He never tried to improve his skills or look for new opportunities, so he remained in the same situation. Number 8. Multiple income. David's furniture business grows over time, and his blog grows in popularity, resulting in more advertising revenue and brand partnerships. David also has some of his money invested in stocks and real estate. On the other hand, John has a stagnant income and struggles to save money because his expenses continue to rise. Years later, David will become a millionaire with multiple income streams, whereas John lives paycheck to paycheck. David's success can be attributed to his ability to generate income from various sources, allowing him to invest and grow his wealth. On the other hand, John was constrained by having only one source of income, and so had few opportunities to accumulate wealth. Similarly, the point is that the wealthy recognize the value of having multiple income streams. That's why they have diversified their assets and cash flow. Undoubtedly, having multiple sources of income can provide financial stability and opportunities for investment and wealth growth. Whereas poor people, who rely solely on one source of income, limit their ability to generate wealth and are more vulnerable to financial hardship. Don't just take our word for it. This is also supported by research. According to IRS data, the average millionaire has 7 sources of income. Number 9. Embracing competition. The wealthy are distinguished from the poor by their willingness to embrace competition and use it as a driving force for growth and innovation. David constantly seeks ways to improve his products and differentiate himself from his competitors. He sees his competitors as motivation to improve and constantly works to improve his skills. On the other hand, John has a negative attitude toward competition. He is terrified of it and avoids it at all costs. He fears failing and does not want to take any risks that could jeopardize his financial security. As a result, John misses out on growth and financial improvement opportunities. It is critical to recognize that healthy and beneficial competition can exist. It can motivate you to improve and reach new heights. Number 10. Self-development. One thing that sets the rich apart from the poor is their attitude towards self-improvement. While many people think that success is achieved once they get a degree or land a stable job, the wealthy understand that personal growth is a continuous journey. Did you know that most self-made billionaires spend at least 30 minutes daily on activities that enhance their knowledge and skills? Whether reading books, attending seminars, or learning a new language, they prioritize self-development. Why is this so crucial? Because the world is constantly changing and new opportunities are always arising. Investing in yourself increases your chances of success and financial prosperity. Your skills and knowledge will enable you to recognize and take advantage of these opportunities, leading to a brighter financial future. So don't stop at achieving your goals or settling for mediocrity. Keep striving to improve yourself and watch your financial success follow. Remember, the journey to success is a continuous one. That's all, fellas. You just learned how to tell the rich from the poor. But wait a minute. We'd like to know which criteria you believe is the game changer. Is it education? Growth mindset? Embracing competition? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear back from you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Growth Mindset channel. Remember to share this video with your friends and family. Thank you for tuning in. We highly appreciate your time and support.